If you've been learning how to day trade for any length of time, you've probably heard the advice to stay on the right side of the market. Today, let's learn how. First up on our list is Vwap. Vwap stands for Volume Weighted Average Price, and it's essentially a moving average that uses a formula that involves volume in its weighting. Let's put Vwap on the chart by going up to the Indicators button and typing in VWAP. Now that we've added it to our chart, let's hop into the settings. To make things a little bit easier, let's turn off the upper and lower bands as well as the bands fill. For this example of forming a bias, we're just concerning ourselves with the Vwap itself. Now onto the Inputs tab, you'll notice that instead of a length option like you may find on moving averages, you're going to find what's called the anchor period. This anchor period determines how much time is being incorporated into the Vwap calculation. Session is the default time, and it means the Vwap gets reset during the switchover between New York session and Tokyo session. The default Vwap is generally used by traders on the lower timeframes when they're looking for confirmation to match their higher timeframe perspective. For example, any given time during your trading session, if price is above the Vwap, the market is bullish and you should only be looking for buys. If you find price below the Vwap, that means the market is bearish and you would only be interested in sells. This is great if you're trading the lower time frames, as the Vwap essentially offers a look into what the entire day's worth of price has been working towards. Hopping back into the settings, I want to show you what it looks like to move this anchor period up to the weekly. The Vwap, when viewed through the weekly anchor period, offers an outlook that tends to hold more weight. Since the weekly Vwap resets weekly instead of daily, it's a bit more clear to see what the market's intentions are. In my opinion, the best way to use the Vwap to form your daily bias would be using the weekly Vwap to establish whether you want to be going long or short based on the higher time frames. Then when you go down to the lower time frames, wait till the session Vwap aligns with the weekly Vwap and then look to trade in that direction. Next on my list of easiest ways to form a bias is using exponential moving averages. Specifically, we're going to be using a pair of EMAs. Now, you can use any indicator you want to get multiple EMAs on your chart at once. My personal preference is this indicator called Ripster's EMA Clouds, because they do a really good job at illustrating the EMA crossover. When you load it up, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the settings, but I promise it's actually incredibly easy. We're just going to scroll down to the bottom of the Inputs tab and make sure that we're only showing EMA Cloud 1. Then we can scroll up and adjust the values on that EMA cloud. Go ahead and enter 10 for the short length and 20 for the long, then hit OK. Now, moving averages do not reset at the end of the day or week like the Vwap does. Instead, a moving average is the average price over a period length you choose. When forming the bias itself, the process is similar to what we did with the Vwap. When using the Vwap, we were looking for price to be above the Vwap for buying opportunities and for the price to be below the Vwap for selling opportunities. When using the moving average, we're looking at how they are stacked. For example, since we're using the 10 and 20 EMAs, when the 10 is above the 20, the market is bullish and we're going long. When the 10 is below the 20, the market is bearish and we're looking for shorts. I like using the Ripster EMA clouds because they fill in the area between the EMAs, taking out all of the guesswork. As you can probably see, green for bullish, red for bearish. There is one final piece to this puzzle though, and that is once again using a higher time frame. This time we're going to use the daily. Up here on the daily, each individual candle is an entire day's worth of price action, so a 10 and 20 period moving average cloud is taking into account 10 and 20 days worth of price movements. That being said, once we understand how it all works, we're really just going to concern ourselves with what color the EMA cloud is. Again, red means we're in a bearish market and we're only looking for shorts. Green means we're in a bullish market and we're only interested in longs. Now, you can change the colors, but I think you get the point I'm trying to make. Now that you have the bias from the daily time frame, you can hop down to a lower time frame and look for your entry model that matches the bias's direction. Let's start with an indicator called SMC Toolkit by us here at the trading floor. Let's open up the settings and rearrange some stuff. First, we're going to turn off the New York midnight and 8:30 lines by clicking on display, and then we're going to scroll down to show high wick and show low wick and unclick those as well. In the Styles tab, let's turn off both sets of filtered fractals. Back on the Inputs tab, we're going to be focusing on the DR/IDR functions. DR stands for defining range, and it was popularized by a YouTuber called The Master a little while back. For now, let's just click on New York and leave the rest unchecked. In DR styles, you can change things to be whatever colors you want. I like making the actual DR and IDR lines very visible using just the solid and dashed lines, and the opening, closing, and midlines can be dots, but you do you. Here's the idea. During each of these sessions, New York, Tokyo, and London, there's an hour's worth of trading that defines the range for the rest of that trading session. If a 5-minute candle closes outside of that defined range, there's over a 75% chance that the opposite side of the range will not be broken during the rest of that session. Let me show you an example. Once you have confirmation of a particular direction by having a 5-minute candle close outside of either the top or the bottom of the DR, you can go ahead and look for pullbacks to points of interest using the DR tool. This area between the DR and IDR lines is often a point of interest, and other times you can find the opening, closing, and middle lines providing support and resistance for retracements. Let's run through the concept one more time. We get confirmation of a bias when a 5-minute candle closes outside of the defining range. Then we want to take a position going in that same direction after a pullback to a point of interest or support and resistance. Your pullback and entry signal can happen on lower timeframes than the 5-minute, but actually procuring your bias, that initial confirmation, only exists on the 5-minute for this concept. Shameless plug, there's a pretty big group of people within our community that has found consistent success combining this DR bias concept with our Stairmaster indicator for entries. Let's move on to another indicator called the Outback RSI and Hull. This is another indicator that we developed here at the trading floor, and it was originally created to be a more manual way of trading the Outback indicator, which is an entry trigger indicator. The visuals on this tool can come off as a little hectic at first, but we're going to make it easier to read while explaining how it works. On the Styles tab here, I'm going to briefly turn off the entries to show you what the indicator is doing. When you turn off the entries, you're left with an RSI, and attached to it are a simple moving average and a Hull moving average. When the RSI moves from one side of the two moving averages to the other, it represents a shift in market momentum and will change colors for the entry options part of the indicator. Now, for actually using the indicator, I recommend flipping what we have selected. Let's turn off the RSI and moving averages and turn back on the entries. While we're at it, let's change the colors a little bit and make it the classic red for shorts and green for longs. Over here on the Inputs tab, you can experiment if you want, depending on what time frame you like to trade on, but the values I'm putting in right now are settings members in our community have found success with trading the 1 and 5-minute charts. Now with the settings closed, I like to minimize the amount of real estate the Outback indicator takes up, and it becomes as simple as remembering green for buys and red for sells. Once you've got your bias, you can go ahead and use any entry model you like to ride the momentum. If you need ideas for that, check out our video on easiest candlestick patterns.